Hey my friends, welcome back. We have 2 toaster ovens or countertop ovens, and we have 7 brutal tests. In this video, I'm gonna put the Our Place Wonder Oven up against the Emeril Lagasse Toaster Oven. Same kitchen, same food, same rules. We're gonna have a race to get up to temperature. We're gonna test the accuracy of maintaining temperature. We're gonna map their heat, testing for cool spots and hot spots. We're gonna test that air fryer crunch that we all love. We're gonna see what it's like to bake in each one of these. We're gonna push their capacity. And finally, the worst part, the cleanup. I'm gonna score each testing category out of 5, and at the end of this video, we're gonna see which one holds up and which one doesn't. I did individual test videos on each one of these ovens, so I'm gonna be using the results from those videos and the footage to make this comparison. And if there's any question in your mind that I might be swayed one direction or another, I want you to know that I was completely transparent in the tests on those videos. You can go check them out. And neither of these ovens were sent to me, and I'm not paid for doing this review or comparison in any way. I bought these ovens with my own money and performed the tests out of my own curiosity. All right, friends, let's cook. First up, preheat to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. In the Wonder Oven, I had to crank the dial all the way up to 450 just to get the oven to 350, and it still took about 11 minutes. Slower than my full-size oven at about 7 minutes. That's a fail for speed and accuracy. The Lagasse hit a true 350 degrees Fahrenheit on the probe in 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Crazy fast. Quieter too, around 69 decibels in the bake mode. So the scores for the Preheat Speed test, Wonder Oven is 1 out of 5, and the Lagasse is 5 out of 5. Test number 2 was temperature, accuracy, and recovery. In the Wonder Oven, accuracy wandered 30 to 40 degrees. Set at 450 degrees, it struggled to hold 360. Recovery, after about 10 seconds of the door being open, was fairly fast. It was about 6 seconds, but accuracy still flunked. The Lagasse hovered around 8 to 10 degrees of set temperature and recovered from a 10-second door open back to 350 in 1 minute and 14 seconds. So in holding a temperature and recovery, the Wonder Oven got a 2 out of 5 and the Lagasse got a 5 out of 5. Test number 3 was the heat map. I used bread to run this test. In the Wonder Oven, on top of the bread, the toasting was really even, but on the bottom, it was completely uneven, and some areas being actually burnt. This left some parts of the toast very crispy like a cracker with no moisture, and some parts of the bread nice and toasted on the outside and moist on the inside. The Lagasse showed dramatic hot and cool zones, darkest back in the middle, lighter up front, uneven within slices as well. So the scores for the heat map on the Wonder Oven is a 4 out of 5, and for the Lagasse, it's a 3 out of 5 because of the unevenness. All right, test number 4, that juicy, sweet air fryer crunch that we all want when we use an air fryer. In the Wonder Oven, 10 minutes at a dialed 360 wasn't enough. I added about 4 minutes more and still not truly crisp. Moist inside, yes, but inconsistent browning, and it took longer than my own go-to air fryer. In the Lagasse, even 18 minutes left breading a bit soggy. The capacity was great, but if you want fast shattering crunch, this just didn't perform. So on the air fry crunch test, the Wonder Oven got a 3 out of 5, and the Lagasse also got a 3 out of 5. All right, test number 5 was the bake control test. I did this with pre-made cookie dough from Trader Joe's to make sure we had consistency amongst batches and ovens. The Wonder Oven cookies came out light on top and darker on the edges and doughy in the middle. My family would actually like that, so I marked it a pass in the review, but for true even bake control, it's mixed. The Lagasse cookies showed up golden brown on the bottom and super soft and moist on the top. The bake on the cookies showed up consistent with most of the cookies, except for the exception of a couple cookies that were baked on the edge of the oven, where we noticed some of those cool spots showing up in the oven, not cooking the cookies completely consistent. So the scores for the bake control test in the Wonder Oven was a 3 out of 5, and the Lagasse was a 4 out of 5. Test number 6 was capacity. The Wonder Oven, think personal pizza. I rolled an 8-inch round to fit an 8x9 sheet. The cheese browned fast, but the top stayed a bit doughy. I still called it a success for what it is, but you're constrained by size and the bake wasn't quite there. Lagasse, we were able to bake a much larger pizza and it came out fluffy and moist and baked all the way through, with the exception of some uneven browning and dark spots around the edges. So on the capacity test, I gave the Wonder Oven a 2 out of 5 and the Lagasse a 4 out of 5. Test number 7 was cleanup. The Wonder Oven cleanup was shockingly easy. Burnt mozzarella didn't stick, and even burnt honey and barbecue sauce popped right off of the non-toxic, non-stick baking sheet with a plastic scraper. The Lagasse cleanup, mostly easy as well. The honey needed to soak before I could get it off the baking sheet, and the drip tray had some permanent staining just after the first couple times using it. But overall, still a pretty easy cleanup process. So for cleanup, the Wonder Oven, I gave a 5 out of 5 and the Lagasse a 4 out of 5. All right, so let's bottom line this comparison. The Wonder Oven is cute and adorable and fun to use, and it toasts really evenly, but it really struggles to get to temperature, stay at temperature, and cook accurately. The Lagasse, on the other hand, is not sexy, but it's a workhorse. It's fast at temperature, maintains a consistent temperature, the capacity is incredible, and with just a couple concessions which you saw, meaning the heat distribution and some of the staining on the components that may happen, head to head, the Lagasse absolutely wins. So if you're preparing food for just you or you and one other person, and you don't really need to stretch the abilities of this toaster oven, then the Wonder Oven might be a great unit for you. But if you want a secondary oven, something that you can actually cook entire meals for your family in, the Lagasse is the choice for you. All right, my friends, thank you so much for watching. I've linked both of these ovens in the description below. If you use those links to buy one of these ovens, then it throws me a couple bucks, helps me support this channel and keep it going. If this video was entertaining or helpful to you in any way, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. And finally, if you have any corrections, questions, or requests for other reviews, throw them down in the comments. I would love to hear them. Well, that's it, my friends. Thank you again so much for watching. Happy cooking.